Blinding rains, whipping winds, and dozens of tornadoes, Hurricane Dorian unleashes its fury on North Carolina,
making landfall over Cape Hatteras. And while the storm weakens in the Atlantic, the devastation left behind is insurmountable.
The outer bands of the hurricane are finally moving out, but Dorian didn't leave without a fight.
Absolutely not right now. 89,000 people are without power in the Carolinas. Duke Energy has about 9,000 workers on the ground trying to get the lights back on.
We have team coverage from the coast to the Triad. We're going to start with Steve King in Nags Head today. Steve, the conditions were pretty bad around noon today. What are they looking like now?
Brandon, much better. The wind has died down. There's some light rain, but not nearly what we saw earlier. The storm surge is getting a little bit lower. The ocean is beginning to recede right now after completely overtaking the beach here on Nags Head. We're going to take a look at what it looked like around 12 today. I mean, the water had just come up. It just didn't stop. The dunes really had to do their jobs, and they did a great job. It was so windy at that point. It must have been, well, the National Weather Service reports indeed it was, hitting gusts of 100 miles an hour and over 80 miles an hour sustained at times here in Nags Head. Now, the rain was not the problem for many people on the Outer Banks. Again, it was the storm surge reaching every bit of the predicted 7 feet and flooding areas of Ocracoke Island and Hyde County. Also at Cape Hatteras, where the hurricane made landfall, people are unable to get off of the island at this time as the waters overtook Highway 12. Down power lines also. EMS tweeting out a picture of the down power lines. Our Devontae McKinnon taking a picture that we're seeing right here of a downed tree. This is the site across much of the Outer Banks right now. Several downed trees, several down power lines. Now here in Dare County, the curfew has been lifted, but EMS leaders tell me they want people to stay off of the roads because of all those down power lines and down trees. It's going to take a lot of cleanup efforts to get everything back to what it was. I'm going to ask our photojournalist, Daniel Cruz, to take a shot of a shingle that's right below the sand dune right here. He's showing you a shingle that is right here. They're scattered about here on the sand dunes of Nags Head, and that's just a very good microcosm of what we're seeing across the Outer Banks. We're going to be able to survey the damage at some point and see exactly how bad it got firsthand. But until then, that shingle really just shows you how widespread the property damage at least is. No reports of injuries at this time. EMS still working to find out exactly the extent of what Hurricane Dorian did. But now our team coverage is going to continue in Wilmington as our Kenny Beck takes a look at the conditions there. Kenny?
Well, Steve, thank you very much. A totally different story here in Wilmington. There is such a sense of relief in this community across New Hanover County that we are not seeing here what you saw up there. We went to bed about 1:45, 2 o'clock this morning. It was still very windy, very rainy at the time. We were wondering, what are things going to look like when we woke up? And I think just about everybody was pleasantly surprised. Lots of people venturing out of their doors 8, 9 o'clock this morning, looking around, looking for trees down, and thrilled to not see anything. Of course, the downtown here, we're right off the Cape Fear River, was all boarded up. There were sandbags everywhere. People were nervous. It's been a long week. Heck, it's been a long year. Florence, not that long ago, still on the minds of a lot of people. The downtown area has taken a little bit of time to sort of come out of its hibernation here after being all hunkered down, but we expect things to be back to normal here very, very soon. Spoke to one man earlier who was out walking his dog. He says after as much tension as everyone has been through this last week, it is a relief to say the least that Dorian didn't do a whole lot here.
I'm happy. I'm happy. It feels nice. Temperature's great. You know, it's doesn't look like there was too much damage. So we haven't been back to the house yet. So, but I don't think they're, you know, judging by what I see here, I think it should be fine.
At the worst of it, there were about 100 roads closed throughout New Hanover County. The highest wind gust locally clocked at 75 miles an hour. All told, about 10 to 11 inches of rain. Most of those roads have opened back up. About 4,800 power outages still being reported by Duke Energy. That's down from about 25,000 earlier this morning. Now let's send things back to the studio. Meteorologist Michelle Kennedy with a look at not only where Dorian is right now, hopefully in the rearview mirror, Michelle, for most of us, but also the Triad's weekend forecast. Good afternoon.
Yeah, you know, we are so grateful to be seeing this storm move off to the North Atlantic and over open ocean waters away from land for now. We are expecting to see this Category 1 storm downgraded eventually once it continues its track to the north and east. It's still moving away from the North Carolina coastline, still impacting folks though with some of that storm surge and those high water levels. We're looking at gusts in Cape Hatteras to 92 miles an hour, Nags Head at least 63, and we just heard reports there of some sustained winds from Steve earlier in the 80-mile-an-hour range, and that was for about a 2 to 3 hour window, a little longer for folks south as you went into Emerald Isle and Oak Island area, where they had some eye wall interaction at least for 4 hours. The winds got worse as that storm went north though and closer to the coast. Cherry Point, 70-mile-an-hour winds, and so as that storm rotated, you see over the last 18 hours, rolled up here from areas of Swansboro north through Beaufort and Atlantic Beach. This is when things became worse in terms of the winds because the eye wall was closer to the Outer Banks, and then the proximity of the sound here and the way that our geography is laid out. As you can see to the north, we've got those showers of thunderstorms that wrapped in some of the eye wall, heavy rain and wind bands, and that helped to push some of those winds and water inland, and so that's where we're dealing with some of the worst flooding. You can still see the wave heights are pretty intense, 20-foot waves just off the coast of Cape Hatteras. These will be dropping within the next couple of hours pretty quickly. Got you down to about 14-foot waves just north of Kill Devil Hills and near Corolla, and as we go up into Norfolk, we're going to be seeing those 11 to 12-foot waves. Those wave heights though coming down, the winds though were intense everywhere. We still have river flooding to contend with inland. We've got warnings along the coast, and we're going to continue to see the storm pull away. It'll bring us drier air, and in the wake of all that rain, folks will have a chance to dry out this weekend. Look at this, anywhere from 8 inches north of Ocracoke, inland even some 8-inch totals just near Jacksonville and Swansboro area. We'll be looking at those rainfall totals ahead and talking about our winds here in the Triad. And look at all these storm reports, even a couple of wind reports coming in from Reedsville with a couple of trees down on those outer bands yesterday with gusts of 20 to 30. We'll talk more about it coming up.
Wow. Intense to say the least. A family in Emerald Isle watched a tornado rip apart their home through their doorbell camera. Jason Sawyer and his wife say the camera went offline, and when they went on to Ring, the video doorbell site, to see exactly what happened, this is what showed up. That tornado basically swallowing up their house. One of 24 damaged from Hurricane Dorian, and this is what's left of that neighborhood. Fortunately, the couple was not home at the time of the tornado.
This video captures a water spout off of the North Carolina coast. You can see it in the distance. This is from Hurricane Dorian as it got closer. This is near Emerald Isle. A couple in Stella says the storm was so strong it tore off the roof of their home.
I just heard this roar, and I couldn't see the funnel, but I just saw like this big wall of water. I mean, it was just, you just couldn't see, and then we just heard things crack in through and I just ran in to close the door, not realizing they were still outside.
Wow. Well, up the coast, parts of Ocracoke Island are underwater. Governor Roy Cooper said today hundreds are trapped on the island on the Outer Banks. The governor says while rescue teams are ready to respond, they're having some trouble getting to the island. Officials are urging residents to get to the highest point of their homes as storm surges continue and flash floods continue to threaten the area.
Jeep Watch 2019 is over, thankfully. The Jeep found abandoned on Myrtle Beach in the middle of Hurricane Dorian has been towed away. A man who claims he's the owner says he actually loaned the vehicle to his cousin, who took it out to take a picture of the sunrise before the hurricane got there. His cousin got stuck, so he left the Jeep behind. The vehicle had to ride out the storm, as you probably saw on social media. It's still unclear if the insurance company will cover the damage.
Triad volunteers are getting ready to head to the coast to help families impacted by this storm. Our Bill O'Neill joins us in Burlington to show us exactly how the Civil Air Patrol is coming into play.
North Carolina's Civil Air Patrol is made up of roughly 2,000 volunteers, and over the next week or so, they'll have 2 missions.
They're going to be performing different missions over the next couple of days. Currently, we have taskings that are just storm damage photos that we'll take from our airplanes. Also, we have some transport missions that we do for the state, just carrying supplies from one location to the other.
16 planes will deliver supplies to shelters and capture pictures of storm damage along the coast.
We'll have people up in the air about 2,000, 3,000 feet, that range, that can get a good photo at an angle of say a medical facility or a bridge or something like that, just so that they can have some imagery of how that is fared through the storm.
The pictures go to FEMA, which then shares them with state agencies to help assess damage. Volunteers, many of them with military backgrounds, are expected to begin flying tomorrow when the wind dies down.
Our role is used primarily to help assist in those people who need help right now at the shelters, and then afterwards those photos are used for months to determine how quickly the rivers rose, how quickly they subsided, things of that nature.
Besides assessing damage and delivering supplies, the Civil Air Patrol also transports dignitaries down to the storm scene. Right now, the colonel says no dignitaries have signed up. In Burlington, Bill O'Neill, WXII 12 News.
Bill, thanks. Many coastal communities are breathing a sigh of relief that Hurricane Dorian wasn't worse. This morning, the Winston-Salem Fire Department tweeted out this picture. They say their water rescue team stationed in Nash County is heading back here to the Triad. 2 life safety branch members are still in Durham assisting with shelter management.
As we head to break, perspective through photos, heartbreaking before and after views of the devastation on the Bahamas. For days, the hurricane pounded the island nation with winds of up to 185 miles per hour. Families huddled together, torn apart by the force of Mother Nature. The death toll continues to rise. So what's left of the island and who's jumping in to help? We'll have a report from NASA next.